Hey guys, Enter the Stars. And before we get started this morning, I feel like I need to offer a public apology about what went down yesterday with this whole UPS store fiasco. I should have never pulled the race card, and a couple of you mentioned it, and you're right. And I'm sorry about that. Now, in my heart, I knew that this had nothing to do with race at all. My strategy and mindset was to try to get the store owners to relate to this situation on a level of civil rights. And that's why I used the "my body, my choice" tagline. Of course, I do not believe that it's okay to do what that represents in terms of a child in the womb, but the purpose of it is to outthink them, to get them to think in terms of the way their logic works. But with all the sensitivity surrounding race, that was probably a bad strategy in this case. So I'm sorry about that. I feel like by doing that, it weakened racial relations and rights. What I did was no different than what Jesse Smollett did. He just did it for a different reason. So, in hindsight, I'm always willing to admit when I'm wrong, and in this instance, I was. I think I was caught up in the moment, in the emotion, and it just caught me off guard the way I was treated. It was like I was a rabid animal who'd come in from the street and was infecting them. And immediately this feeling came over me that I was being discriminated against. And I had never felt that before. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. My entire life as an African American man, I had really never felt discrimination like that. And not, for my race. And then here I was getting medically discriminated against. And we're going to talk all about what medical discrimination is more on next week. I've got a show next week talking about what medical discrimination is. Now, that term has not been coined yet. So this will be the first time anyone talks about what that actually entails and means, because it's real. And we're going to break that down. It's basically when you are mistreated because of your personal preference and your rights are taken away because of your personal preference that is actually still within the bounds of the law, but because you're not doing what everyone else is doing, you become discriminated against. And many of you have already experienced this. So we're going to define that on shows coming up in the week, next week. So let's get into this show. Next, this is Yale College. Well, this isn't Yale. This is in front of my house. But basically, everybody knows about the tomb, Skull and Bones, and the history surrounding that building and all of the things that happened in that building and that probably happened in that building. John Kerry, George Bush Jr. and Sr., many, many other people went through that program and were in that fraternity, secret society, whatever you want to call it. Now, I was supposed to go on this trip with Snowball, and apologies, you guys probably see him in the chat. He lives nearby. And I apologize that I didn't let you know, man, but I really did want to sneak up on these people. I didn't want them to know I was coming, and I know for a fact that my phone's being monitored. So nothing personal, Snowball. This is what we had to do. So here we go. Let's go ahead and get this started here. Watch and listen. Oh, seriously? Is this going to do this to me now? All right, let's get this started. It's like it's dead. Come on back. Always got to be technical difficulties, isn't there? Let's see, how can we fix this? Can we refresh this? Oh, it's just dead. Dead. While we're waiting for this to pull back up, what were you guys' feelings and thoughts about what happened yesterday at the UPS store? I know many of you voiced your opinions. I had mixed feelings. Like I said, it was something I was not expecting to happen, and it caught me off guard. So I would love to hear your feedback and maybe share what's going on in your areas, because you guys are all from all across the world in the chat right now. So I'd like to hear exactly what was happening in your area with regards to face masks being required. What are the local laws in your area? Oh man, this thing is not happy. We might have to just look at the whole thing is like acting weird. I'm gonna have to close this. Control Alt Delete. Unbelievable. Yeah, they don't want you guys to see Yale. Now what we did is we took an up close and personal look, because what happens is these people rely on symbolism. Oh, did it come back? Oh, there it goes. That was weird. Whoa, what's going on? I think it's back. Okay, yeah, it's back. The minute I pull up the task manager, it was like, oh, we better behave. Okay, she's coming to reboot the task. Okay, let's get started. Do this. Can a brother play a video? Jeez. Okay, let's close the task manager. Goodbye. Don't need you anymore. And I don't think anyone's ever looked this close at this building. Let's go. So, skull and bones. Bones. These people like to flaunt their symbolism and operate in plain sight. So what we're looking for is details. And we're going to decode those details today. So what will we see? Well, that's pretty interesting. Look at that road bridge going over the top. Over the top there. I think we're pretty close. And we're just going to pull over. Luckily there's not a lot of people here because school's out. We're going to pull over and do a perimeter walk around this thing. See what we can see. This is probably the perfect time. I think it's right underneath. As you approach this thing, you notice that this gives me feelings and reminiscence of like Dracula, right? Look how cryptic and old this is. It doesn't even seem to fit into the landscape. It almost looks kind of like Gothic or church-like. So right underneath that bridge on the left-hand side is the tomb. And now you know why I had to sneak in, because, well, you'll see why in a minute. There were cameras all over that thing. This bridge here. So I'm just going to pull over to the right here, walk right in. Now I was supposed to go do this with Snowball, but you know, I kind of wanted this to be a surprise visit. Why? Because I feel like these people know that I'm coming, and I've got some information that I'm going to share with you guys about a credit report, and I'm going to disclose this on my channel. I pulled a credit report just to take a look at my credit and found out that my account has been flagged by the government. So this is all becoming very real. So let's get out and take a look at this. I wanted to do a surprise visit here, so let's take a look. The first thing I'm noticing is 3122322. Now, this is new information. No one really put together the fact that if you look at the 3 triangle roofs, there's 3, and there's 2 windows and 2 windows. That's 322. So they've already encoded that in this building. Now, this is not the original building. The original building was actually smaller, and additions were added on, okay, in somewhat recent years. I think the older version of the building, when of course Bush and all those guys went through there, looked like this. But then there was a building before that that was smaller. Now look how cryptic this looks. Let's keep going. 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, skull and bones. We're looking for details here. This is where it all happened. Look at those padlocks on here. There's cameras, a couple cameras. So there's a camera there. There was another one on the front door. Now I didn't see these cameras activate. They kind of were just like up there. But I was kind of waiting for them to come on because I wanted them to know that I was looking right back at them. We talk a lot about Skynet. And I guess there's an actual real satellite system of surveillance that's supposed to go online called Skylink. Probably heard it mentioned on other channels. Well, that's what we've pretty much been talking about this entire time for the last couple of years, trying to warn you guys about this surveillance system that once it is 5G Wiz enabled, there will be no escape from anything. Everything will be automated. Everything will be linked into a single database. There will be no escape. State, local, federal, all linked in together. Let's keep watching. Looking at us. Let's see if they come on. There was another camera up there. Now, on the left is what looks to be a combination lock. And there's like a little cubby hole. And that probably is operated by the combination lock to push things in and out through the front door, which is just really weird to me. Look at that old Diebold. And it says Diebold on it. Now you can also notice the paneling on the front door also falls in line with the 322. You see 3 up and wait, is it 1, 2? Oh, I guess there's 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fair enough. 42. Let's keep going. It says Diebold. So guess what? Is that what is that their little tagline? They want to die bold, right? Lock. Look at that creepy door. Like, what could they put? What do they put organs through there or something? Limbs. And those padlocks say federal on them. Federal. Federal. Yes, definitely federal. And it looks like nobody's around to turn the cameras on. There's a big clock there. Police officer there. Oh, what does this say? Details. New Haven landmark. The New Haven Preservation Trust, and that's an acorn. So, the New Haven Preservation Trust, on its surface, nothing seems out of place, except for we've been talking all about the trees and how the trees represent people. Acorns, trees, see the Great Give, it's called. And you know they're preserving all of these historical sites. Let's keep going. Interesting. More cameras. I don't see any weird gargoyles or anything. Now we're going around the side of the building. Okay, this is the building next door. Now, that's a Roman numeral. What is that? D, C, 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 C. I think C's are hundreds or 200s. Are they 200s? And then XXXII. I think that's an omega, and that's AD. This might be the year that this building next door was established. But very creepy nonetheless. Keep going. AD. I don't know what that is. Probably some Roman numerals. I'll try to decode that. Kind of ventilation. More cameras. A lot of cameras, aren't there? They're looking at us. McNeil Lecture Hall. Sculptor Garden. What's this about? So I saw this graffitied on the building next door. And I should have spent more time actually looking at it, because there's something here. It says too many, what appears to say rabbits, something talking to hares instead of listening to lions. How cryptic is that? Too many rabbits talking to here instead of listening for lions. Now that almost sounds like a veiled threat. Listening for lions, and the rabbits are all talking to each other in the rabbit hole. And I've been talking about this Yale trip for a while. And so I'm almost wondering if this was put there for me to find. Too many rabbits talking to hares instead of listening for lions. Look, I already know what my fate's going to be one day, because I'm never going to stop speaking out. So they can threaten all they want. This all appears closed down. It's locked. Authorized Yale personnel and their guests only. Locked. Take some stairs. Now this is all very well secured, and we're going to count these pillars. 1. So, you know me, I understand that the elite are obsessed with numbers, and so we look at their numbers in the calendar and all that. So I decided to count these pillars. And lo and behold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Whoa, pause. So there were 13 to the first side entrance. Okay. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 up to the main entrance. Those are the only two numbers that really matter at this point. I kept counting all around to the edge. But basically what's encoded is the number 13. Remember, 313. March 13th is when Trump announced the national state of emergency. There's a reason why these people use these coded numbers. And of course, 17 alphanumerically is Q. Q is the deep state. And look what they've done. They've got us all asleep. Very few people protesting this. What's happening to us right now. Because everyone's trusting the plan. Or they're still in the right-left paradigm and they think that Trump's going to save them and stop all this madness. And they don't even realize that he's the one that is at the bottom of all of it. He's fooled the most people. Let's keep counting. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. I don't see anything else really. One thing I noticed, there was a lot of wildlife surrounding this building. squirrels, birds. But you'll notice as I did that walk around that there wasn't any within the perimeter of the building. Almost as if life had been starved out of this very dark and evil place. So that was the walk around that I wanted to share with you guys. Now, we got a very full schedule going on. I don't know why that did that. For next week, I've already got a bunch of live shows scheduled, things I want to talk to you about. And I always appreciate your guys' feedback and your involvement and participation in these morning shows. We've got a pretty big group that meets every single day at this exact same time. If you're new to the channel and you're up in the mornings getting ready for work, or you're whatever it is, you're on your commute, this is the place to tune in, because we've got our finger on the pulse of the matrix. So let's let this load up. I'll answer a couple questions. Thanks to the almost 400 people that showed up to the show. Regarding yesterday, I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I escalate this situation? What should we do? As it stands now, and for those of you that don't know what happened yesterday, went into a UPS store and was totally not expecting this, but they tried to shoo me out of the store, refuse me service because I was not wearing a mask. Governor Ned Lamont of Connecticut just passed an executive order saying that masks are mandatory only if you do not keep a 6-foot safe distance from the other person. So I confronted the UPS store owners and staff, and I tried to correct them. They would not concede, and that was the end of it. I then filed a complaint. We did that live on air yesterday. There's a video up on that here on this channel. And basically the lady just gave them a pass, gave the store owner a pass. Said he's a franchise owner, he can do whatever he wants. I said even if he's running around violating people's civil rights in the name of the UPS store, this is what you support? So what you're telling me is that a store owner could assault somebody physically and you wouldn't care? You would just keep letting them be you wouldn't threaten them to take away their franchise? And I know for a fact, because I've known people that have owned franchises, it doesn't work that way. You sign a contract with the franchise, and if you do not represent the store in a fashion that they see fit, they can pull your franchise license. It's the way it works. So basically the lady was giving me a line of BS, and I feel like I was being treated a certain way because of my appearance. Look, you guys, if you were to see me on the street, I'm just a normal guy. I wear a hoodie, sweats. I don't dress up. I'm a very humble person in my appearance. I keep myself well, but I'm not very flashy. Let's put it that way. I don't look like I have a lot of power or influence, and nor do I. But I do have a voice, and I will use that voice. So basically, when I walked in there, I was treated like a homeless rabid dog. That's what I was treated like, and it triggered me. I'll have to admit I was a bit triggered. And when I went in there the first time, he tried to shoo me out of the store, and then I tried to correct him. I said, look, it says right here that I can be in here as long as I'm 6 feet away. Then he tried to lie and say, well, you weren't 6 feet away. I go, yes, I was. Pull up your cameras. He didn't want to do that because he knew he was wrong. He said, well, show me in the executive order. I showed him. And at that point, he says, well, I couldn't help you anyway because there's no notary here. I go, well, I need a copy of my driver's license. The guy was just, for everything he came at me with, I had to come back. So I left and came back, and that's when I started recording. I wish I would have recorded the initial interaction. But anyway, bygones be bygones, water under the bridge. I don't even think escalating this thing's even going to help. And so we'll just move on from that experience. And if I'm ever faced with that again, I hope I handle it a little bit better than I did. So So now it's interesting because what if many of you have the same type of behavior that you're experiencing? Maybe you should get that on camera. If you have a YouTube channel, I don't care how small it is, get that on camera. If you go in somewhere and someone mistreats you, there needs to be accountability. Put it on camera and upload it to your channel. You might be shocked at how many people will come to your defense and help you through this. So, all right, let's go in the chat here. I love you guys. I love all the support that I get from all of you. You guys are the best subscribers on YouTube. All right. I can't see this. Let's blow this up a little bit. Yeah, I got gaslighted. Even when I corrected him, he's just like, he didn't want to be wrong. And I said something stupid. I said something like, I said something dumb like, I'm a millionaire. I said, you never know what you're going to say in those situations. I'm not a millionaire, of course, but I told him that. And I said, you need to be careful how you talk to people. You never know who's going to come into your store. And he goes, I'm sure you are. Like, just totally blew me off. And I was like, oh, you're going to get it. But, none of us are perfect. You guys, I'm a human being. Normally, I stay out of places like that. I just don't like to do a lot of what's called business. Business irritates me because it's all beast. All business is beast. And the least amount of it you can do, the more brain cells you're going to have left in your life as life goes on. Because it's all just BS. It's all just them having you in a hamster wheel running in a circle. That's their goal. I don't understand people who own 5 and 6 properties and run businesses. That would drive me insane. All the red tape and paperwork you have to live with every single day. That would drive me absolutely insane. And so here I am trying to set up a very simple life and a simple future with a property and a very simple home that's mostly off-grid. And I'm getting harassed, and they're preventing me from my end goal in this UPS store. And I think that's what triggered me. Trying to live rent-free, trying to live with everything paid off, with no debts. And here they are still trying to drag me down their little hole. And that's what triggered me. So, all right, what else do we have here? Yes, do not let them control your mood. I agree 100%, Dr. Savage. That's great advice. When we start acting like them, we are no better than them at that point. But what we can do is everyone can stand up. Hey, Paul Panda. Good to see you too. Thanks for modding. We can all stand up and show our own experiences on camera and how ridiculous it is. Now, I'll give a caveat, because in my state, it's still legal to not have to wear a mask as long as you're social distancing. But in your state, the executive orders might be different. So be careful. You don't want to be out there putting something illegal that you're doing on camera. That's not the point of this. This point is exercising the rights you still do have left and showing people how ludicrous it is about how we're all being treated. If they're protected with their masks and their gloves, why do they care if I have a mask on? It's because the mainstream media has convinced them that if not everybody is wearing a mask, then we're all going to continue to be locked in our homes. And so what they've done is they've pitted people against each other by making that statement. So, this is the new normal now. All right. Well, where are we at with time here? I guess we'll start to round off the show here. Appreciate you guys all coming out. I'll see you on Monday. If anything crazy happens, we do go live on the weekend sometimes. But otherwise, I usually try to give you guys a break and take the weekends off for your commitment to coming every single day in the mornings, and I really, really appreciate that. So use that time, if you don't see me, to get caught up on some of the older videos that you may have missed. We got really good live shows every day. I try take my time and prepare these shows so that I can communicate something profound that's going to help make a change in this world. Okay, that's the whole goal of this. So, have a great day, everybody, and a great weekend. Take care and be safe.